Hello and welcome to ERP Web Tutor. My name is Biswajit Mohanty and we're going to talk about Oracle Advanced Benefits today. So before we even talk about what the Oracle Benefits is, I assume you are well versed with Oracle Core HR, the way Oracle HRMS works, and the different basic setups for Oracle HRMS to start with this video. If you haven't gone through all that details, so I would request you to go to ERP Web Tutor and look through all the videos that we have for Core HR and basic HRMS setup and finish those, and then we can start with Oracle Advanced Benefits. So before we get into Oracle Advanced Benefits, we need to know what are benefits. So benefits are the non-monetary earnings provided by the employers to the employees. So usually the way employee and the employer relationship work is employee works for the company, for the employer, and employer pays them the salary. Apart from salary, in some countries it is kind of a mandatory thing to provide few of the benefits that are non-monetary. For an example, the employer can provide the medical benefits, the dental benefits, the insurances, along with vacation buy, vacation sell, employee assistance programs, and many other loans and many other non-monetary benefits that does not come along with the salary. So to manage and provide all those benefits to the employees, Oracle has come up with a product called Oracle Advanced Benefits, and that caters to this particular demand of HR, where they have to manage all the benefits, all the insurances, all the providers that are providing the insurances, manage all the premiums, manage all the rates, cut the employee rates from the salary, provide employer rate from employer's account, and there are many other things involved that we are going to discuss about. This is our first video for this series of videos that we are going to have for Oracle Advanced Benefits, and in this video we are going to talk about the basic setup and the basic need of why Oracle Advanced Benefits is needed and what is the use of that in the market. So while talking about OAB is part of Oracle HRMS suite, and this is mainly created, as we discussed, to manage benefits offered by the enterprises. Initially, Oracle started with a product called Oracle Standard Benefits. In that Standard Benefits, it had basic criteria to provide the benefit setup, provide the employers to do the benefit setup, and provide them the handle to manage all the benefits easily. However, as and when the complexity increased and the market demanded, they started working with a product called Oracle Advanced Benefits, and here we are with Oracle Advanced Benefits now. Oracle Standard Benefits and Advanced Benefits both are available as part of HRMS suite. Oracle Advanced Benefits, which is OAB, we are going to refer to Advanced Benefits as OAB now on. OAB has a little bit of license cost, but it has the ability to manage more complex work rather than unlike OSB, which is very simple in nature, and we'll be talking about the differences between OAB and OSB in forthcoming slides. So agenda for this set of videos that we are going to have for Oracle Advanced Benefits include, we will talk about the Oracle Advanced Benefits and its underlying design, how it is designed, how it is going to work, the different components that we need to make sure that we handle before we do the benefits design, the benefit structure, the different elements of it, programs, plans, plan types. We are going to talk about it elaborately. We'll also be looking at the different structure related to benefits, that is eligibility, electability, defaults, the life events, the enrollments. We'll be talking about using OAB to implement benefit related regulations, like we have COBRA, we have HIPAA in US and Canada. We'll be talking about those. The learning outcomes of these videos is, once you cover all the videos, you'll be able to understand the concept of OAB as well as OSB. We'll be able to create and use new benefit structures, set up eligibility and enrollment rules, electability defaults and all that. You'll be able to navigate and use the Benefit Service Center very effectively. Benefit Service Center is the place where the enterprises, the HR users go ahead and manage their benefit setup and the benefits enrollments for employees. You'll also be able to set up and use federal regulations like HIPAA and COBRA. So before we go on with the different details of OAB, we first need to know the wordage of OAB, how it is, what are the different words that we're going to use, and what are the different meanings of those. So we'll start with insurance and carriers. Insurance is a known funda in the world. Everybody knows what insurance is. So in order to prevent monetary loss during any period of emergency, everybody puts some amount of money in a particular packet. It's like a piggy bank where we put in money every month and we use it whenever we need it. Similarly, in a condition where a group of people start putting money in a single piggy bank and they need when they pull it out whenever they need it, that's the concept of insurance what they use in this world today. And today many of companies are there which provide the insurances to the people, so they take premium as a monthly contribution to that insurance, and whenever people need money they can claim it because with some particular situations in hand. All those companies are called carriers. So to start with, we have Aetna, Cigna, MetLife. These are famous carriers that we have in market today, and there are many more. So carriers are companies that provide insurances to the people. Next is benefit structure. So what is a benefit structure? In order to enroll somebody in a program, in order to enroll somebody in a benefit, we need to define and divide the benefits in particular segments. So we'll start with program. So program is a major category within which the different plans or plan types are included. Different set of offerings are included. So let's say I will say I have an active program. What does that mean? That means all the active employees that we have will be enjoying that particular program, and within that programs I'll have different offerings, like I can give medical insurances, I can give dental, vision, I can give life insurances, and spousal life, children life, these different types of insurances within medical active program. Similarly, I can have another program called retirees. Now in my company, retirees do not get group term life insurance, for an example. So they do not get group term life insurances, and spouse and children life insurances. All they get is medical, dental and vision, and no other life insurance plan. So in that case, as active employees and retiree employees have two different set of requirements to cater. What we will do is we'll go ahead and create one active program and one retiree program separate. So the retiree program will have only those offerings that are related to retiree employees, and the active program will be offered to all the active employees who will be enjoying all the benefits that are part of active program. So program in short is a broad division of the different offerings that the company or the enterprise has to offer. Similarly, we'll go to plan type. So what is a plan type? A plan type is the type of insurance that the enterprise offers. For an example, medical plan, a dental plan, a vision, group term life insurances, optional life insurances, accidental and death life insurances, enterprise vacation plan, vacation buy, vacation sell. These are different plan types that an enterprise can offer. So you see, plan type is a group of similar type of insurances grouped together. So all the medical plans will be grouped under the plan type. So the plan type is a type of benefit offerings. We already have discussed about the plans a little bit. So what is a plan? A plan is an element, the insurance plan that is provided by the carrier. Let's say Aetna is giving me a plan called Aetna Medical Plan A, and Cigna is giving me a plan called Cigna Medical Plan X. So these are the two different plans that will have different premiums, that will have different benefits as in that will have different features. Some might have a copay, some might not have any copay, some might have PPOs, some might have HMOs. So these are the different benefit offerings that a plan can hold. So based on the broad category of different benefits that they offer, different plans will be created, and all those plans will be part of a particular plan type. So we discussed about program, we discussed about plan type, we discussed about plan. So the rest is option. So what is an option? So whenever I take a Cigna Medical Plan A, for an example, in that Cigna Medical Plan A, whom do I need to cover? Do I need to cover myself? Yes. Do I need to cover my family? Yes. It can be employee plus one, it can be employee plus two, it can be employee plus family, it can be employee only. So these are the different option tiers that are available within the plans, and each plan will have set of options that the participant can choose. So based on the option tier they choose, they can cover different set of employees. If I am a different set of dependents, so if I am in employee only plan, in employee only option, I cannot choose anybody but myself. If I am enrolled in employee plus one, I can cover myself, along with that any one of my family members. So that's called an option. So we discussed about programs, plans, plan types and options. When all these structures are defined, it is evident for us to create and link those structures to make a pyramid. On top of the pyramid sits program. Within that we'll have plan types. Within the plan types we have plans, and within that plans we'll have different options linked. So once that structure is ready, once that pyramid is ready, that's called a benefit structure. We'll be talking about how to create a benefit structure, what should be considered, what should not be considered, and how do we create the different linking that are there in benefit structure in forthcoming videos. But now to understand what a benefit structure means, is it's a pyramid of different offerings that the enterprise gives, and with different layers, and the layers are program, plan types, plans and options. We'll go on to the next item, that is life events. Life events is the mode within which it's a let's talk about life events in a different manner. So let's say somebody is newly hired. So when a person is newly hired, he has to enroll into some of the benefits. He will be offered some of the benefits that the enterprise offers. So he might or might not choose medical, he might or might not choose dental or vision. However, the enterprise must give him an opportunity to enroll into different benefit offerings that the company has to offer. Similarly, somebody who's already enrolled gets married. So it's called a marriage life event, a wedding life event. So once the marriage happens, the person should be allowed to enroll or cover his or her spouse into the medical plans. So an opportunity should be given to the employee to do that. Let's say somebody has a child, that's a gain dependent child. So when a gain dependent child happens, similarly an opportunity should be given to the employee to enroll or cover his or her child into the program. A termination is similarly an opportunity for the employee to de-enroll himself from different offerings. He doesn't want to be continuing with that benefits that he is currently enjoying. So these opportunities are called life events. As the name suggests, life event is an event that happens in life. So similarly, a new hire, a termination, a gain dependent spouse, it could be gain dependent child, it could be divorce, it could be separation, it could be different type of life events are there. Somebody turns 65, somebody turns 55. Let's say my life insurance coverage decreases after I turn 55. So once I turn 55, I should be having an opportunity to change my life insurance coverage. So that opportunity is provided by life events. That's a different way to look at it. We will look at it in another way now. Now, if we look at technologically, there should be a system that evaluates what are the different offerings that has been offered to the employee, what are the different enrollments that he has done, what are the rates, what are the premiums and everything. And life event is a way to recalculate everything. So through life events, the system fires few set of programs, and the programs go ahead and recalculate all the different eligibility, electability and everything that is related to the life event, and offer the proper benefit structure that is allowed to be chosen by the employee. Looking at eligibility, what is an eligibility? We talked about retiree program, we talked about active program. For say my company doesn't want to do two different programs, my company wants only one program to be done. However, they surely want the retiree people not to choose group term life insurance. What they want is all the active employees should choose everything, and retiree employees should be able to choose only medical, dental and vision. What that means is, at that plan type level or even plan level, I do not want some of the employees to be enrolled into that program or a plan and some employees to be enrolled in that. So that is called eligibility. Every plan or option might have different set of and program as well might have different set of eligibility rules defined, and based on the eligibility rules that are defined for that compensation object, for that offering, the system calculates the eligibility of the participants, of the employees, and allows them to be enrolled into those coverages. Similarly, what is an electability? An electability is a way of allowing a participant to change or not change their benefits as part of a life event. In order to rephrase it, I will say, let's take the gain dependent example. So somebody had a gain dependent. So when a person has a gain dependent, what are the different enrollment changes that the system would allow him to do? Should he be able to change he or she able to change his medical plans? Yes, because he might want to cover the new dependent that he has. Should he be able to change his dental and vision plans? Yes. Should he be able to change his vacation buy and vacation sell plan? No. What is the relation of vacation between gain dependent? The company might say, no, you cannot change your vacation buy and vacation sell as part of gain dependent because that's not related. Similarly, a salary change life event. Once a salary change happens, should he be able to drop or enroll a new dependent or drop an existing dependent? No, he should not be. All he should be allowed to do is maybe change his life insurance coverage. Maybe he's in 1-cross salary, he wants to go to 2-cross salary because he can pay the premium now. But medical changes, no, it should not be allowed. So similarly, although the eligibility is there based on the life event that the person is experiencing, we might or might not want to allow the person to choose or change a certain set of benefits. That is called electability. Eligibility and electability go hand in hand, and electability is always a subset of eligibility. Unless the person has an eligibility to a particular benefit offering or a compensation object, he might not have electability to that. Only when the participant has eligibility into that program or a plan, only then that program or plan will be electable for the person. So electability is always a subset of eligibility. The other difference is electability is always dependent upon life events, where eligibility is usually dependent upon indicative data or beneficiary or enrollment data. Eligibility can be dependent on life event, but that's a very rare scenario. We will discuss about that in future, but in broad sense, eligibility is mostly not dependent upon life event, it's mostly dependent upon data, whereas electability is mostly dependent upon life event. So based on the life event that is the person is experiencing, he might or might not be allowed to choose or change the benefits that he has. Okay, so we talked about eligibility, electability, and life events. Those are the most used words in OAB scenarios. So we'll be talking about those three words in very detailed manner in future videos. So what are the person types? A person type, as you would have known from the core HR setup, a person type depicts the person's status in the company. When we stole somebody's record in the company, he might be an employee, he could be a contingent worker, he could be an applicant, he can be a dependent, he can be a contact, he can be an emergency contact, he can be a survivor, an ex-employee, a retiree. So these are the different person types that the system can store, and enterprises are allowed to create different set of person types in Oracle HRMS. So what are the different person types that are related to Oracle Advanced Benefits? First one is participant. Who is a participant? An employee who has at least one enrollment in the system is called a participant. So a participant is somebody who's enjoying at least one benefit that is offered by the company. Who's a dependent? First we'll see a contact. Who's a contact? A contact is somebody who is within the family relationship of the employee. So the family relationship is a very it's a term that depends upon company to company. Some companies allow spouse and domestic partner as part of and child as part of the family. Some companies allow spouse, parents, and grandparents as part of the family. So depending upon the family status of the contact of the relationship holder, the company can allow him to be a contact or not. So contact is somebody who has a family relationship with the person of the employee. What are the other person types? One is dependent. Any contact who is covered under any of the plans that is enrolled by the employee is called a dependent. So suppose I have a spouse and I have a child. So both are contacts for me. My spouse and my child both are contacts for me. But I haven't covered my spouse in any of my plans, in any of my coverages. But my child is covered under medical. So my spouse is not a dependent, but my child is a dependent for me. So that's how a contact and a dependent is different. Let's look at some more terms. We'll talk about the ABCD of OAB a little more. What is a rate, and what is a premium, and what is a coverage? We'll club all these three and talk about it together. The coverage, we'll start with the coverage. The coverage is the amount, the benefit amount entitled to the benefits offering for the compensation object. For a life insurance, there should be a benefit amount related to that. For a spouse life plan or spouse AD&D plan, there should be a benefit amount related to spouse life and spouse AD&D. So those are called coverages. Those are called benefit amounts. Medical, dental, vision, these are health plan types. They do not entitle any coverage amount usually, but yes, we can definitely configure it to allow coverages, but this hardly happens that medical will have some coverage amount, a cap. Usually medical, dental, vision, all the health coverages do not have any benefit amount related to it, but all the life insurance type of plans, they will have coverage amounts linked to it. So that's the benefit amount of coverage. What's a premium? A premium is the amount of money that the insurance carrier charges for offering that benefit to the employee. So that's called a premium. So premium might have I'll choose a medical plan. The premium might be $500 per month. Now out of those $500 per month, my employer might decide to pay $300 per month on behalf of me. So that's the offering that the employer is doing, and $200 have to be cut from my paycheck. In this scenario, $300 is the employer contribution and $200 is the employee contribution. So the employee contribution is called rate. The $300 employer contribution is called employer contribution, and sum of employee and the employer contribution is called a premium. So the premium is rate plus employer contribution. Like $200 for rate, that's employee contribution. $300 for employer contribution sums up to $500 for premium. That's how the insurance carriers get those $500. So we talked about rates, premium, and coverages. Rates and premiums can be very much dependent upon coverage based on the requirement that we have. So sometimes when the coverage is 100,000, the rate should be a multiplier of that. I'll say my rate is 0.002% of whatever we have as coverage. So similarly, the premium will be 0.005% of whatever we have as coverage. So the rates and premiums can be very much dependent upon coverages. We will be discussing about that in our forthcoming videos. We might have to dedicate the entire video for discussing rates, premiums, and coverage. It can be very complex, and Oracle Advanced Benefits as a very nice software. It gives you all the handles to manage every complexity that you could have for rates, premiums, and coverages. Let's talk about data. So we know about data. Data for benefits. We'll discuss about that in detail. What are the different data that are available? The first one is indicative data. And indicative data is the employee related data that is available in the system. employee's age, his or her gender, its national identifier, his nationality, its job, its position, its organization, its location, its salary basis. It could be anything that is stored in the people or assignment screen as you see, or some other screen that might be like person types or benefit groups that are linked. So indicative data is the data that does not change very often in the system from a benefits point of view. So that is called indicative data, the employee's personal data, the related data or assignment data. What is a beneficiary data? A beneficiary is as good as a contact, but a contact becomes a beneficiary whenever he is allowed to take the coverage for any life insurance type of setup. So somebody might have a contact, somebody might have no contact, somebody might have 3 or 4 dependents. Those are the beneficiary data that Oracle Advanced Benefits considers and uses those as for calculating eligibility, electability and rate eligibility. What is derived data? You must have seen we do not store age in Oracle Advanced Benefits or Oracle HRMS because we store the date of birth. So based on the system date, based on today's calendar date, we calculate the age automatically. So whenever somebody turns 55, we discussed about that example a little earlier. Whenever somebody turns 55, he should be able to reduce his life insurance coverage, or he might be forced to reduce his life insurance coverage. So that data is derived. We do not store it anywhere. But whenever somebody turns 55, system understands, okay, we have to insert a life event here. We need to give him an opportunity to reduce his coverage. Similarly, somebody turns 19, we need to do something for the dependent. So we do, the system understands that and runs a life event. Somebody turns 15 years, somebody has 15 years anniversary in the company, he should be given a particular benefit for say. For an example, if you are 15, you've been working with the company since last 15 years, you get medical with a $20 less rate than everybody else. So how does the system know that the person has turned 15 years in the company? So that's called the derived data. So we have different set of derived data. We have age, we have length of service, we have compensation, we have age and length of service, and different other derived data. What is the enrollment data? Sometimes companies say, okay, unless you've been enrolled in this plan since last 15 years, you are not allowed. So 15 years is too much. So let's say we change the example. So unless you are enrolled in this plan from last 2 years, you are not allowed to continue. Only when you've been enjoying this plan since last 2 years, you are allowed to continue in this plan. Unless other than you're not. So that is the set of data, enrollment data, the historical enrollment data that will be required for you to calculate eligibility and electability and rates. So that is called enrollment data. So what are the different data we saw? We got indicative data, that is employee's personal data, beneficiary data, that is employee's dependent and contact relationship information. We've got derived data, that is length of service, age and compensation. So these are linked together to provide some that changes based on every system date, and that provides us an handle to change eligibility or rates for an employee. And then we've got enrollment data that tells us the historical enrollment information of the person, and based on which we can derive our eligibility or electability. Okay, so we'll talk about some more ABCD. We have already discussed about person types. We'll discuss about the compensation objects. So what are the different compensation objects? We've been talking about this word very frequently since the beginning of the video. What is a compensation object? A compensation object is a root level of benefits offering. So I will say I am enrolled in active program, in medical plan, in Cigna medical plan A, and in employee only option. So that makes sense. I am in a plan, I am in an option, I am in a plan type, I am in a program. So that root level is called a compensation object. So this entire thing that I said, active program, medical plan, Cigna plan A, and employee only option together is called a compensation object. If we try to look at the pyramid, this is the basic level, the root level at which the compensation is defined and enrolled into. I cannot be enrolled into active plan and medical active program and medical plan and not have a plan and option linked to that. So which plan am I enrolled in? Which option am I enrolled in? That's why it is essential for us to define a level saying, okay, if you want a medical plan, you'll have to choose a plan type, you have to choose a plan, you have to choose an option. Only then the system can identify, okay, you have enrolled in this particular compensation object. So that level is called a compensation object. Options are not mandatory, so we can say every program, plan type, plan and option will be compensation object. It's not like that. For an example, life insurance plans might not have options. Employee only, employee plus family. Life insurance doesn't care about that. I might have 3 different plans called 1 cross base pay, 2 cross base pay, 3 cross base pay. Those are 3 plans. Those are the life insurance plans that I have in the plan type. I do not have options. So at this level, the compensation level is at the plan level. And what are the different compensation objects I have? Active program, life insurance plan, 1 cross base pay. Similarly, 2 cross base pay and 3 cross base pay. That's my compensation object. So what is a wave plan? A wave plan is a plan that is linked. Plan, it could be an option too, that is linked to the plan type. What if I do not want a medical offering at all from the system? So from the company in which I am working, I do not want any medical offering that the company has to offer. I would rather go and enroll in something that my spouse has, and my spouse will cover me in employee plus 1 benefit at her company, and not, I don't want anything in my company. So I might have to choose a no coverage plan, a waive plan. I might have to decline the medical benefit in my system, in my company. So every plan type will have a plan called a waive plan or a decline plan. So if the participant or the employee does not want to choose anything, he might choose waive. That means the company has offered him a set of benefits and the employee has chosen to be in waive plan. That makes it very easier for the enterprises to handle legal scenarios. So waive plans are very much important, and usually it is kind of mandatory for all the most of the employers make sure that the employee chooses at least the waive plan if it doesn't want to be enrolled into any of the offering that the enterprise has to offer. What is a temporal? A temporal is a setup, is a system that runs within the system of OAB and finds out all the derived data, all the derived factors. What are the derived factors we discussed about? We discussed about age, we discussed about length of service in the company. So age and length of service, once a person attains a particular age, similarly for an example 55 or length of service as 15, a life event should be triggered and the person should be given an opportunity. That setup happens through a temporal. So a temporal is a system that runs in the background and finds out who's turning 55. So it takes a flag and checks every day whenever the person turns 55, inserts a life event right away. What is a COBRA and what is HIPAA? COBRA and HIPAA are US legislation laws that are there in the benefit system, and any employer, any enterprise with more than 20 employees should abide COBRA, and similarly there is a rule for HIPAA as well. So when we look at COBRA, what is COBRA? COBRA is a regulation that allows employees who are terminated in the system to be covered under the different health insurance plans like medical, dental, vision, and sometimes flexible spending accounts, even after the termination happens. So even after the employee has de-enrolled he's no longer an employee with that enterprise, the participant gets the coverage of medical, dental, vision, and healthcare spending accounts for another 18 months, and there are clauses around it. So that is the enterprise's responsibility to make sure that the benefits is offered, because it's a legal thing that the country has. And although the premium, there is no employer contribution for COBRA, So the entire premium amount plus 2% of service tax is given by the employee, the ex-employee now, whoever is terminated or resigned from the job. If he chooses to enroll into the COBRA benefits like medical, dental, vision or spending accounts, he has to pay 102% of the premium. The company doesn't pay anything. However, the offering should be there. The employee or ex-employee must be able to choose that. So that is a major configuration, and it's pretty important too because it's a mandatory rule in the United States to offer that. Similarly, we have another rule called HIPAA. So HIPAA talks about protecting the personal data, the enrollment data of any employee. So once we enroll people into our medical, dental or vision enrollments, whenever they claim, the claim settlements and everything come, and we know that the person has taken medical benefits or hasn't taken dental benefits. As an enterprise, we know that. So from the government regulation, it is forbidden for the employees to provide any of the health related information to anybody other than the employees, without the employees' knowledge, other than the insurance carriers. So that act is called HIPAA, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, and COBRA stands for Common Omnibus. I'm sorry, I don't remember COBRA. We can check about COBRA full form later. Okay, so that's all we had for the benefits first video, and we talked about the different vertices, different scenarios that happens in benefits world. And on our next video, we'll be starting with the benefit structure, and we'll get into the system, start creating different plans, plan types, options and programs, and then we'll try to link them and make the pyramid happen. So once the pyramid has happened, so you'll be able to relate more about what we talked about in this video and realize how the benefit setup works. Thank you very much for watching, and